You're a Raw 2/7/2011, before the most violent day in WWE history, Valentine's Day.
So Mr. McMahon comes out for the first time in apparently almost a year. That's what half a year is. And he announces that next week there's going to be a huge special guest for WrestleMania. I'm thinking Justin Bieber. What about you?
Let's just say that if it is Justin Bieber, I hope he gets booed out of the building like Cena did in ECW One Night Stand 06. God, I would just love to see that if Bieber got the shit booed out of him like Vicky Guerrero does.
I hope if I get tickets to Raw next week, if Justin Bieber gets there, I'll freaking start a riot. So then Randy Orton comes out and cuts another exciting promo, as always, because he's Randy Orton. And then CM Punk comes out and explains why he interfered in Randy Orton's match, and it was because Randy Orton screwed him out of the World Heavyweight Championship 2 years ago. So now all of a sudden he's getting his revenge 2 years later.
Well, they had to make some kind of sense out of it, right? You waited 2 years? Who are you, Michael Myers? Don't hold grudges. Be like a basketball, man. Don't hold grudges. Anyway, and for some reason CM Punk started sitting down. I don't know. And also what was funny is that CM Punk kept calling Randy Orton Randall. I don't know why, but I just couldn't stop laughing at that.
The Nexus comes out and attacks Randy Orton, and this is great. And what was funny about this was CM Punk starts bleeding from his nose, and as you can see, we censored this because it is completely graphic. Remember, this is PG, so we're going to have to censor this picture because it's too graphic.
It's like John Cena said, this is a PG show. CM Punk represents everything against the PG show. Look at how he lives his life, completely against PG stuff.
Just want to point this out. While Randy Orton was making his entrance, there was two really hot chicks in the front row. Okay, so what were we talking about? Oh yeah, that's right. So anyway, Nexus says they're gonna attack people or whatever, but who cares? Look at that chick.
When we come back from commercials, we see Johnny Stamboli standing in the ring, and we see vintage idiot Michael Cole said something about the Nexus members gonna go against the guys from Elimination Chamber. And it's Johnny Stamboli versus our freaking Truth, who took mic skill lessons from Mike Adamle apparently, because he thought they were in Green Bay. Are you kidding me? The Milwaukee chants were so fucking funny in the middle of that, and then he started getting booed and everyone was cheering Johnny Stamboli. That was so epic, man. What did you think of this?
I freaking laughed at R-Truth. That was hilarious. I kind of felt bad for him, though. That crowd hated him for saying they were in. And then Michael Cole was chanting along with them, like, Milwaukee! Milwaukee! That was freaking hilarious.
Came out with some new kind of submission hold that no person in that arena wanted him to let go because, like, what town are we in? What town are we in? And
I'm surprised that the King, I'm surprised. I don't even know if the King actually heard this, but they said bait.
I'm surprised he didn't say it, though. I guess he heard it this time. I guess they, like, had surround sound on his freaking headphones there, so amazingly, the King heard that they said faith. Unless Vince just yelled it in his ear a million times so that the King wouldn't say, did he say faith?
And then we would get the dream team of Melina and the Bella Twins. Now, let me draw this diagram out for you. Now, this is Nikki. This is Brie.
Mickie James looked pretty strong here, which is like a nice change of pace, and she's a freaking champion. And we had Natalya on commentary saying how she respects everyone, sounding like Cena. But surprisingly, again, she gets a clean pin over Melina. I wouldn't be surprised if this Mickie James against Melina thing turns into a Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero thing from 2005, where Melina goes psycho shit because she can't beat Mickie James. And Mickie James beat her twice clean in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, I guess it's good that Mickie James is winning matches. Just kind of sucks that Melina's turned into a jobber once again. And there was no Daniel Bryan anywhere to be seen in this match.
What an amazing contribution from Tamina in this match. Her contributions in this match rivaled with that of Alicia Fox's from a couple of weeks ago.
You're being brainwashed by WWE into believing that it is a woman. Well, at least we didn't get to see him holding hands with Santino on the way to the ring. That was a plus.
So then we have The Miz congratulating his #1 contender, Jerry the King Lawler, in the ring. Can I just say this before we get into details about this? Jerry the King Lawler could not get a pop for shit. He couldn't get a cheap pop. He couldn't get his own kind of pop. Yeah, I mean, he said the name of the city. He's like, "Oh, we're Milwaukee, not Green Bay." Ha ha ha. And the crowd, like, I heard like a slight little pop. And I was like, okay, if that's not gonna get him a pop, I don't know what is. So then he tried to make jokes. He tried to get a "you suck" chant started. That failed miserably. And then he had to start the awful chant for the crowd to play along. That's how pathetic King's promo cutting ability has become. He still has better mic skills than half the roster. This upsets me.
Well, at least the Miz didn't say Faith. So basically, as we predicted, this was turned into a beatdown, and then Daniel Bryan, of all people, Daniel Bryan. So for some reason, Ted DiBiase and Daniel Bryan, and they make this tag team match.
And A-Rod joined them on commentary. And A-Rod was a surprisingly good announcer, except for the fact that he kept calling Daniel Bryan Bryan Danielson. And then it took Michael Cole to freaking tell him, "Oh, his name's Daniel Bryan. Oh yeah, that's his ring name, huh? Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Oh, Vince McMahon's gonna yell at me now." But A-Rod's actually surprisingly funny there. Cole and A-Rod are like magic together on commentary, and it's pretty funny.
Because, you know, WWE usually likes to do this where they, like, say this person's not going to win, and they shove it down our throats that he's not going to win, and then he ends up winning. I really hope they don't do that with this. So then it was supposed to be Sheamus versus David Otunga, heel versus heel. So we kind of know this probably isn't going to go as planned. And of course, here comes Josh Matthews for some freaking reason and says that Mark Henry's been talking shit about Sheamus and saying he doesn't deserve to be in the main event. Mark Henry, of all people. And I'm thinking there must be something behind this. So of course, Mark Henry comes out and attacks Sheamus, and David Otunga tries to attack him, yada yada yada. They go into a huge feud, and then Mark Henry ends up kicking Sheamus' ass, and David Otunga stands over him as if he toppled him or something. So, I don't think they explained this, but I think what happened was David Otunga is the one that told Josh Matthews to say all that stuff just so that Sheamus can trash talk Mark Henry for Mark Henry to come out.
So, it looks like the smaller black guy needed the bigger black guy to do his dirty work for him. In the middle of David Otunga standing on Sheamus, we hear Alberto Del Rio's theme song, and I'm marking out, of course, like I always do for Del Rio. So, surprisingly, Santino dominated this match for the most part, other than a couple of moves Del Rio got in there. But seriously, this guy fucking dominated this match and took it to Del Rio. And I'm not being sarcastic like I usually am. This guy seriously took it to Del Rio. Like, I know how shocking that sounds, but still. But Del Rio would come up with the victory after the armbar, and looks like he's got some good momentum heading into No Way Out.
So, I was wondering why Alberto Del Rio was on Raw, even though he's a SmackDown superstar and he has no connection with anyone on the Raw roster. And then here comes another guy that's the same, Dolph Ziggler and Vicky Guerrero, for no reason, just to talk and annoy the crowd.
Here's the difference, though. There's a difference here. At least Del Rio's entertaining. Well, whereas Vicky and Dolph are just like annoying. They get great heat and everything, but they're just freaking annoying.
So pretty much this whole thing went nowhere except to annoy people and to piss.
This was sad that like they just freaking just plugged this in to take their shots at the Super Bowl and the fails that happened and the Packers winning. So what the fuck, man? It's like, yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, and another thing, Cena loved to replace the word ass with Elimination Chamber, so I'm gonna start doing that too. So then it's John freaking Cena against CM Punk. Now I'm sure everyone's noticed this, and I've noticed this week in and week out, just haven't said anything. But on Raw, the wrestling is just not as good as it used to be. John Cena's like punching CM Punk on the ropes and shit. And then the referee's like, "I will disqualify you," blah, blah, blah. Trying to be Earl Hebner here, asserting his authority. And then Cena's just like has some stupid kind of looking expression on his face. That was funny. And he just went completely for a low blow. That was funny too. Like, it's fun. I don't know why. I didn't have a problem with Cena at all tonight. Cena did kick CM Punk's Elimination Chamber tonight. And then for some reason, Jerry Lawler's Elimination Chamber gets into the ring and helps Cena kick the Nexus' Elimination Chamber. What the fuck was the point of that? And then the King says, oh, it's because Cena helped me win.
You know, I don't know about the King. You know, maybe he did some things he shouldn't have said, but exactly. But they have been kind of playing off of this, Cena and Jerry Lawler. I'm gonna be pissed off if Cena actually is responsible for Jerry Lawler being WWE champion. So that was it for February 7th, 2011. I'm MTO.
Now, Momar, but that wasn't the end of the day like you just said. That was just the end of the episode of Raw from 2711.